Good afternoon to everyone and welcome to this session on CLAT. In India, as you are aware, that there are many professions, and one of the most sought after professions in today's context is legal profession. To become a lawyer, you have two options available with you. One is you can take a 3-year undergraduate course and then do a 3-year law degree from a recognized university. And the second option, which is after class 12th, is you can appear for common law admission test, popularly known as CLAT. So, to get admission into top leading legal and law universities, you have to give examination CLAT. Today, I will take you through the CLAT examination in detail and also the counseling process associated with the CLAT. It is very important to know that consortium of NLUs is the apex body which conducts common law admission test, popularly known as CLAT. As a student who is interested in pursuing career in law, he has to prepare for common law admission test CLAT. The catch here is that the components of common law admission test and the course of class 11th and 12th do not have much of similarity. That means you are preparing for class 11th and 12th, and then you are simultaneously also preparing for common law admission test CLAT. Any student who comes from science bio background, science maths background, commerce background, or a BA arts background can appear for common law admission test CLAT. So now let us focus on what is CLAT examination, how do we approach this examination, what are the important pointers which we need to keep in our mind about the CLAT examination, and then we come to the second part of the topic today is CLAT counseling. So let us come to the examination first. All the students who will appear in class 12th and have cleared class 12th examination can register for CLAT examination in month of August. The CLAT examination every year is held on the first Sunday of December. This year 2026 CLAT examination is scheduled on 7th of December 2026. The examination is held across various cities in India, and the exam time is from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. That means examination is of 120 minutes. Those people who qualify this CLAT examination can secure admission into leading law colleges, popularly known as national law universities. As per the website of the CLAT consortium, today there are 27 national law universities participating in CLAT examination. Besides this, you also have other private universities and leading universities which give you admission based on the CLAT score. So let us come to CLAT examination. How do we prepare for CLAT examination? That's a question one should actually answer. As soon as we enter class 11th and we take up any subject stream, you can just see that you have about 1.5 hours, full 1 year for class 11th and about 6 months to 7 months for class 12th before the CLAT examination is taken. That means the preparatory time for CLAT examination is about 1.5 years available to each student. When we start the preparation for CLAT, our focus should be that we are on track to clear the exam in the first attempt. Now let me take you through the details of the CLAT examination. CLAT examination paper consists of 5 broad areas. That means in a 2-hour exam, you have about 30 to 35 minutes for each section to write in the exam. The 5 core subject areas of CLAT examination are English or language, English comprehension and language. Second, legal aptitude and legal knowledge. Third, general knowledge, or you can say current GK. Fourth, logical reasoning, and fifth, mathematical aptitude. Now let me break you through the percentage of it. If you look at it, legal aptitude or legal reasoning and general knowledge, which is basically current general knowledge, approximately weightage of questions is about 25%. Then we come to English. Approximately weightage for English section is about 20%. Logical reasoning another 20%, and mathematics about 10%. That means in total 120 questions which you will write in CLAT examination, you will have about 24 to 28 questions in general knowledge and legal aptitude, between 22 to 24 questions in English and logical reasoning, and 10 to 14 questions in mathematics. This is how the whole distribution of CLAT exam paper is actually done. If there is a tiebreaker, that means if two students score similar marks in the exam, then the tiebreaker operates in a way that higher weightage is given to the legal aptitude section. If two people score same marks in legal aptitude, then the person with higher age is considered. And if even higher age is same, then there is a draw. That means they will have a draw, and whoever gets selected would be considered in the merit list. Now let us come to important things about how do we proceed for CLAT examination in detail. First and the foremost, you will have to register on the CLAT consortium website and register yourself as a candidate appearing or preparing for CLAT examination 2026. On the website, you will be asked to fill in the form and deposit the fee. The fee for general category students is about 4,000 rupees, whereas for non-general category or a reserve category students, the fees is about 3,500 rupees. Also on the website, you can have an option to pay, purchase past year question papers, for which you have to additionally pay 500 rupees. So all said and done, this is what is the registration process. Now let us come to how do we break and prepare for CLAT examination. Remember, you have 120 minutes, because CLAT exam is of 2 hours. You have 120 minutes to solve a question paper of 120 questions. Each question is of 1 mark, and each question, if you do it correctly, you are awarded 1 mark, and if there is a negative marking, you lose 0.25 marks. That means 1/4 mark is lost for every wrong answer. Now let us come to the question paper setup. In CLAT examination, all the 5 sections, the question appears in the form of a paragraph. Each paragraph is worded between 400 to 450 words. So let us take section 1, English. If you look at paper of English, you will find that in 20 to 25 question means you have about 5 paragraphs to read. Each paragraph is 450 words approximately. And from each paragraph, there are number of questions which needs to be addressed. That means if there are 5 paragraphs in English, you will have approximately 5 questions from each paragraph in English. Similarly, you will go to legal aptitude section or legal reasoning section, and you will also find that they also have about 5 paragraphs, and each paragraph has about 5 to 6 questions to answer. This applies to general knowledge, basically the current affairs, and you will have about 25 questions to solve from 5 paragraphs. In the mathematics and logical reasoning also, you will get questions in a paragraph form. That means those people who have very good reading ability and very fast comprehension ability will tend to do better in CLAT examination. Mind you, those of you who are preparing, please start reading paragraphs in a quick way. and try to comprehend the information in the paragraph, because your speed and agility will determine how effective you are in solving the CLAT examination paper. With this said and done about the CLAT examination paper, let us come to how do we prepare for English section. Now, most of the questions from the English section of the CLAT examination comes from fiction and non-fiction articles, news articles, some stories, and you have to comprehend those stories and articles and answer the questions below the paragraph. It can include your judgment, it can include your analysis, it may include interpretation, it may require you to analyze a situation, it may require you to draw inferences from the paragraph and answer the questions. So, in English you will get a paragraph, and this is how you will approach this paragraph. The weightage for this paragraph, as I have already told you, is about 20% of the question paper marks. Then we come to logical reasoning. In logical reasoning and in mathematics, mathematics is purely based on class 10th mathematics level. You will be having 10 to 12 questions. Important topics are like ratio, proportion and percentage and trains and time and so many of those topics which appear in class 10th. Whereas in logical reasoning, you will have situations given to you in paragraphs, and from that situations, using the logical framework, you have to deduce the answers. It requires a depth of preparation for all the logical reasoning topics, and the questions have to be solved after reading the paragraph. So, remember this, that paragraph is more important. The next and the last section which we come to is general knowledge and current affairs. Remember, CLAT is not there to test your static general knowledge. CLAT examination has been designed to test your current affairs information. Prepare well. For at least last 1.5 years, you should be aware of the current affairs across India and across the world. All global events happening around the world and within the India, which are reported in newspapers, has to be prepared very well. The static part of the general knowledge basically can deal with history of institutions, constitutional bodies, constitution related questions, and history of courts and other institutions in India. Focus more on current affairs, because major questions derive from current affairs. Let me take you an example for you to understand. Last time you saw that there was an airplane crash in Ahmedabad, and one of the paragraphs on general knowledge was related to the Air India plane crash. That means there's so much that the plane crash happened in July and it appeared in your December paper. So, last 1.5 years of intensive reading of current affairs will help you go a long way in cracking the CLAT examination. Now, let us come to how do you manage time to solve the paper. See, if you look at the paper, which is of 120 minutes duration, and if you look at the total number of questions, you will always find that they are also 120. That means for each question you have approximately 1 minute to solve. But as I told you, CLAT examination is purely an examination in which every section comes to you in the form of a paragraph. Every section, all those 5 sections comes to you in the form of a paragraph, and each paragraph is about 400 to 450 words. That means you need very fast reading ability. With fast reading, you need to comprehend the essence of the whole paragraph, and based on your thinking, your logical interpretation and your analysis, you have to answer the questions. So, it's not like one question for 1 minute. It's like you have to read very fast. I have found that most of the time people who actually read slowly do not do well in CLAT examination. Also, if you want to get into top NLUs, National Law Universities by the say, your score has to be more than 95 out of 120. I am talking about those 27 NLUs. Some of them, the first 10, 12 NLUs are very well established NLUs, and to crack those NLUs, you need to be in top ranks. And to be in the top primes, your preparation should include how do you read fast, how do you interpret the information given, and how do you apply that information in forms of questions which are given below. Those people who read slowly will definitely not do well in the CLAT examination. So one of the USPs of how to crack CLAT examination is very simple. You have to speed up your reading and you have to be very quick in reading. That is how you can crack CLAT examination with flying colors. Also remember, when I say that 95% is the marks where you can actually get very easily admitted to any national law university, it doesn't mean that this would be the cutoff for the coming year. The cutoffs may vary depending on the standard of the paper. Mostly the standard of the paper is not very highly tough and not very low. They actually match the standard of class 12 level students. So please be focused on how you are actually preparing for CLAT examination. To prepare for CLAT examination, please ensure that you are solving question papers or mock test every single day without fail. If you commit mistakes in your question papers, then you need to have a framework of analyzing your mistakes and coming back to the exam next day to see that the mistakes are not repeated again. For that, you can actually make a mistake register and register your mistakes so that when you write the question, when you write the right answer, you actually logically know what was the correct answer and why it was the correct answer. Remember, the more questions you will solve, the more question papers and mock tests you will solve, it will not only improve your accuracy, it will also improve your skill for reading, it will also enhance your reading ability to a great extent, and therefore your attempt to get good marks in the CLAT examinations. Those people who only read and do not solve question papers, for them it will be difficult to crack CLAT examination. Remember this, I am again repeating for your sake, solve as many question papers as possible, solve as many books which are available to you with questions as possible, take mock test regularly, take mock test at all India level to assess your preparation and assess yourself in context of the competition which you are going to face in the CLAT examination. Background. Now let us come to the second part of the CLAT examination after having talked to you about the CLAT examination in detail. Once the CLAT exam result is out, the consortium of CLAT universities will start the counseling process. The counseling process is very important because in India, every exam or competitive exam which we give is basically half part is the exam itself and the other half is the counseling. Many a times we have seen as with our experience that some of the people have made grave mistakes in counseling and have actually been denied admission. So to be very clear with you, counseling is as important as your CLAT examination itself. So let us come to understand what is counseling process. Once the result is declared and you will get your rank or a grade card for the CLAT examination, the consortium of NLUs on the website will give you access to the counseling portal. For this, you will receive information either through your email ID or you will receive an SMS that you can now register for the counseling portal, which is open for you to. On the counseling process portal, the student will have to go and register himself, and he will have to upload many documents, including the photograph, the signature, the 10th mark sheet, the class 11th mark sheet, the CLAT consortium result. If you come from any category, then category certificate. If you have a disability, then the disability certificate. These are standard 7-8 documents which you will have to upload on the counseling portal. After that, you will have to deposit a fee. In this case, the general fee is about 30,000 rupees, and fee for reserved category students ST, SC and OBC is 20,000 rupees. After depositing the fee, you will be given access to the counseling portal. On the counseling portal, you will see list of participating institutions. There will be all NLUs which will be listed on the counseling portal. Also, you will see that they also list the courses available in those NLUs on the counseling portal itself. And then other participating institutes will also be listed. An undergraduate student who is taking the CLAT examination or who has taken the CLAT examination has been invited to join the counseling process will be given or has to minimally fill 15 choices. I repeat again for your knowledge, you will be asked to fill minimum of 15 choices on the portal itself. If you fill less than 15 choices, then you will not be accepted for the counseling process. I repeat again, this is very important. Minimum 15 choices has to be filled, and there is no end to how many choices you can fill. That means you can fill all NLUs, all their courses, you can fill many other institutions which are listed, but minimum 15 choices have to be filled. Whereas in case of a PG student, the minimum 5 choices have to be filled. Let us come to the UG first. So, after you have filled your choices on the portal of consortium of NLUs for counseling purposes, you can actually rearrange these choices depending upon what is your priority. Which university you want to go to first, then your second priority, third priority, fourth priority, and so on. This is very important for you to understand that you have to incorporate or build in about 15 choices. You can even go more, but minimum 15 has to be filled. CLAT consortium also gives you a date and a deadline that when your portal will be locked. You are having two options. One, you should, after you are satisfied by filling your choices, you can lock the portal for yourself. And if you leave it unlocked, then the consortium website will lock it automatically at the cutoff time and date. Once it is locked, you cannot change your preference of choices. So please do your homework very clearly how these choices are to be filled, because once they are locked, you don't have access to change them, and neither the CLAT consortium will permit you to change even if you request them. Now let us come to what happens after this. The CLAT consortium will first run a mock drill and give you a suggestive which college you may get, and finally they will declare the counseling result. Counseling result declaration means that you will receive a mail and you will also receive an SMS, and you can also go and check on your portal by inputting your roll number and the registration number, which college and which course has been allotted to you. This is round 1. That means this is the first time the result for counseling has been declared. It is called round 1. You are allotted a college. There may be some students who may not be allotted college in round 1. Once you are allotted the college, you have 3 options: freeze, float, exit. Let me come to each one of them. What does freeze means? Suppose I wanted, my first choice of NLU was NLU Bangalore as a course, and I want to do BA LLB there, and I have been allotted this first choice. I can actually freeze and submit the college fee and secure my admission. That is what is freeze. If I do not choose freeze, suppose I asked for NLU Bangalore as option 1, but I am allotted some other NLU, I have an option of float. Here float means that in round number 2, you can choose an option float, and you are actually coming back into round number 2, and float means that if there is a seat available in a higher institution ranking as compared to what you have been allotted, and there is a vacancy, you will be allotted the higher education, and therefore you will move from college which has already been allotted to the new college. The float option is available only up to round 4. Remember this. You have to lock the float and then take you have to pay the confirmation fee. Confirmation fee here means that once you lock the float, the confirmation fee means that you have taken admission in this college, and the fee portal will show you how much fees, remaining fees you have to pay. Also remember this, that last round, which is the 5th round of counseling, you are not given any option of float because there is no further round of counseling. And if the CLAT consortium allots you a seat and you do not accept that seat, then you will exit. That means you are out of the counseling. Also, I can tell you that if from round 1 you are allotted any seat and you do not respond to that seat, that means you have neither freezed it nor you have opted for the float, and this continues round after round, there is no action from your side. Please remember, no seat will be allotted to you. You will be out of the counseling process, and therefore you will be out of CLAT examination itself. So this is very, very important for you to remember that there is a freeze, float and exit option in counseling, and student has to exercise by his own wisdom whether he wants to freeze the allotted seat and take admission in the allotted college. He wants to take option number 2, which is float. That means he wants to upgrade to another college. And third is exit. If you don't freeze or float and you don't respond, you will be automatically out of the counseling process. With all said and done, this is what is all about CLAT examination. Now let us come to some more questions which you people have been asking me. एक क्वेश्चन है, क्लैट में जीके वीक हो तो उसको स्ट्रॉन्ग करने का फास्टेस्ट मेथड क्या है? As I have already said you that CLAT is not asking you static GK, so they will not ask you anything which is old history or anything. They are basically focused more on current affairs. As a student of a CLAT, from class 11th itself, please start reading any good newspaper. In newspaper, you can read constitution related news, legal news, general public policy news, news related to sports, news related to financial sector, news related to bigger incidences. Anything which is of current has to be there in your general knowledge preparation. No book will come handy to you. The more you are aware about what is happening around you, more you are reading newspapers. From newspapers, you can actually take up the cuttings and paste it in a notebook, or you can write those important events, and that is how you prepare for GK. It's current GK, it is not static GK, it's a very dynamic GK. As soon as you enter class 11th, start reading newspaper. At least read newspaper for half an hour to 1 hour every day. That is how you can increase your, or you can improve your general knowledge. If you don't remember things, just write them down. You can also take the cuttings of the newspaper and paste it in your notebook, so that when you revise it, things are fresh in your mind. GK learning is not one day affair. You have to prepare it continuously, day in and day out, again and again, again and again, again and again. Somebody has asked me, criminal law करने का क्या process है? See, I am just talking about entrance to the law university. You are not going to become a criminal lawyer unless you crack the exam and take admission in a law school. So, once you go into a law school, the course is structured in such a way that first 3 years you learn all the common laws, and after that you are offered a specialization. So, if you can crack the CLAT examination and take admission in a law school, then after 3rd year you will be offered a specialization in either criminal law, civil law, intellectual property law, trade laws, depending upon what students want to do. So this question is, I think, too early to answer. First you crack the exam and then think about getting into criminal law. एक और है, सर 11th-12th का स्कूल स्टडीज़ के साथ क्लैट बैलेंस कैसे करें? Now this is a very good question. See, when I say that people prepare for NEET and JEE exam, they come from science bio or science maths background. Their course and the syllabus is actually replicated in NEET and JEE advanced and JEE main exam. This is not the case with the CLAT. I told you upfront also, and I am again repeating. Class 12th, whichever subject stream you are from, whether it's science, it's commerce or arts, and you are preparing for CLAT, ensure that you balance your time properly between the two. If you are reading 5 hours a day, at least give 3 hours to class 12th and 2 hours to CLAT. You cannot do CLAT examination in 2 months or 3 months time and you can crack the CLAT. The competition is very intense. To crack this CLAT examination, you need to prepare well. And preparation means it is a continuous preparation for 1.5 years. So every year, every day, if you can assign yourself 2 to 3 hours or 3 hours at the max, you can actually very well prepare for CLAT examination. So balance करने का ज़रूरत नहीं है, आपको खाली अपना approach और attitude सही रखना है कि मुझे करना क्या है, and I have to give the balanced approach to this. General knowledge, just read the newspaper, you can read it in your free time, it gets prepared. Mathematics is class 10 level, you can solve some questions every day, it gets prepared. You have to put in some effort to understand logical reasoning, because you are reading legal aptitude and legal reasoning for the first time, it will need more effort from your side. English is just class 10th, 11th, 12th, it gets automatically prepared. So balancing is not a very difficult task to do. The only thing is you have the right mindset and attitude to how to actually push yourself to the limits to crack the CLAT examination. टॉपर स्टूडेंट डेली कितने आवर्स स्टडी करते हैं और प्रिपरेशन के लिए देते हैं? सी इट्स वेरी subjective questions. Some people prepare in a very systematic way. They prepare and give themselves less time, but they prepare very well. They can crack the exam. Some people sit for hours, sit for days, sit for months together, but because they are not preparing well in a structured way, they are not targeting or focused on what they have to do and how they have to do it. Therefore, they find it difficult to crack CLAT. CLAT is a very competitive exam, but at the same time very simple exam. The only thing is that you just structure how you will actually approach this examination. The approach has to be a long form approach, 1.5 years. You cannot prepare for CLAT in 2-3 months and say that I can clear CLAT. Yes, exceptions are there, but truly said, if you really want to crack with a crack CLAT examination with a very good merit to get an admission into top tier national law universities across the country, you will have to apply yourself and work hard towards that goal. There is one more, maths week हो तो CLAT टेक्निक सेक्शन को कैसे प्रिपेयर करें? सी प्रैक्टिस मेक्स द मैन परफेक्ट, ये एक आपने कहावत पहले भी सुनी होगी या कोट पहले सुना होगा. मैथ्स किसी का वीक या स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं होता है, मैथ्स में हम प्रैक्टिस कम करते हैं. CLAT examination is not a mathematics based examination. It has only 10 to 14 questions in mathematics, and some of the questions are very simple. They are based on mathematics of class 10th. So even if you are not very well prepared, you can at least solve more than 50% of the questions in mathematics. But if you are well prepared because you have practiced it well, you can actually score full on full. Even mathematics and logical reasoning, both of them combined together gives you about 30%, 35 questions out of 120. So remember, it is important to practice. The more you practice, better you will score in math section. Don't have a fear. Most of the people have fear of mathematics and therefore they do not perform well. Forget about that. You are not going to become a specialist in mathematics. You are only preparing for an examination where mathematics is a part of it, and you can actually do it with good practice. करंट अफेयर्स में कौन सा बेस्ट न्यूज़पेपर है और मंथली मैगजीन कौन सी रहेगी? न्यूज़पेपर डिपेंड करता है कि आप कौन सा पढ़ते हैं, बट मैं आपको सजेस्ट करूंगा कि आप कोई नेशनल डेलीज पढ़िए, कोई भी एक. सारे न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, वो आपकी रीजनल लैंग्वेज में भी हो सकता है, हिंदी में भी हो सकता है, इंग्लिश के अंदर भी हो सकता है. एनी गुड नेशनल डेलीज, इट कैन बी टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया, इट कैन बी हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स. People in South read Hindu, People in Rajasthan in remote locations can read Rajasthan Patrika because most of the news are covered in it. Also, when you are preparing for some magazine, तो करंट अफेयर्स की मैगजीन मंथली बेसिस पे निकलती है. करंट अफेयर्स की मैगजीन मार्केट में अवेलेबल है. आप उस मैगजीन को सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं फॉर 2 years and you can prepare your current affairs. Those of you who are taking coaching for CLAT, they can actually refer to the study material offered by the coaching institute. So it is not very difficult to get knowledge about current affairs. You can even watch television for half an hour, 1 hour, and you can get updated yourself every day about what is happening around you and around the world. See, it's everywhere in news. Like today, biggest current affair news can be like NEET exam is cancelled or war happening in Middle East. All these are, you can just hear around you, and therefore you can prepare very well for it. So mind you, it is not, they are not testing you to the depth of that you have to have a very deep knowledge. They are testing you to that you have a basic knowledge and you can apply that knowledge in a way the exam is structured. That means you can read the paragraph very effectively, very fast as compared to others. You can analyze and interpret the information, and therefore you can solve the questions beneath the paragraph. Remember this CLAT exam paper, if you will refer, it comes in a form of a big booklet, because I can say that there are about 5 sections and about 5 paragraphs from each section, so about 20 to 25 paragraphs. Each paragraph is of 450 words approximately. It can be sometimes little lengthy also, and the reading consumes major time in answering the CLAT question paper. So practice reading. The faster you read, the better you are. The faster you comprehend, the effective you are. The faster you analyze the things, more targeted towards your result you are. So CLAT is an exam which can be very easily cracked if you perform well on reading and comprehension. So make efforts on that. I think I have answered most of the questions. If you still have any question which you didn't understand, I can take more questions for your side. Let me come to one more point which I have already told you. If a student does not get selected into top NLUs, I can also tell you that many leading universities, private universities across the country are empaneled or are associated with CLAT consortium. That means your result or the score sheet is accepted for admissions to those universities. You don't have to write any other exam. You can directly go to the CLAT consortium website and see the associated list of universities, select the universities as per your choice, and then you can take admission into those universities. So it's not that NLUs are best, it is that NLUs train you better, train you in a very hard way to become better lawyers for tomorrow. So that is how you can actually approach the CLAT examination. I can now summarize the whole talk which I have had with you. I have started with telling you that CLAT examination consists of 2 major components, examination and counseling. It is conducted by the consortium of NLUs. Exam is held in first Sunday of December every year. From class 11 to first Sunday of December every year, you have approximately 18 months to prepare for CLAT. CLAT preparation includes 5 sections. These are little different from the course which you are pursuing in class 11th and 12th. English, legal reasoning, general knowledge, which is like current affairs, logical reasoning, and mathematics. I've already talked about the percentage and weightage, and we have also talked about how to approach the exam in 2 hours. You have to read a lot, you have to interpret a lot, and you have to apply a lot. In the second part of our talk, we have actually talked about counseling process, and I have said that you have to first register. Second most important point which I made in counseling process was you have to at least select 15 institutions to be eligible to be part of counseling process. And third, I said that there are 3 options given to you: freeze, float, and exit. If you get a college of your choice, freeze the choice. If you do not get a college of your choice and you want to upgrade to a better college, fill the float form. And Once you are allotted a college of your choice, then you should actually freeze. If you do not do anything after selecting the choices of the colleges and you do not either confirm on freeze or you do not take option of float, at the end of the counseling rounds you will be automatically exited out of the examination. That means you are not candidate eligible to examination result and admissions for the current CLAT examination. With this we conclude our talk. I hope that I have been able to clear most of the doubts which were in your mind, and have a good day. Thank you. हो गया सर? आज बेटर हुआ कल से